If I had my way, everything would be so nice. This world would be like Paris. No, it would be a paradise. No one would ever have to say, I'm gonna get my wish someday. All one would have to do is say, this is my order, if you may.
Welcome to another episode of The School Without Walls. I am Antonio Hobbs, host and founder of this educational program. My guest today is Mrs. Camielle Adams. I'm going to bring her on in a few minutes. Prior to bringing her on, I have few things I want to say. First of all, we want to talk about the purpose, to remind you, I should say, of the purpose of this program. This program is designed to elevate the African American community, primarily educationally, spiritually, and economically. These are three important factors, and we feel that we can do this with the right leadership, but we must keep in mind that without unity, it's impossible to be successful in doing anything. Our scripture teaches us that a divided house will not stand. And it's important to have leadership and fellowship. And of course, I'm proud to say that we have 4 pastors here that I'm very proud of that are doing some things that I've asked them to do. We'll start with Mr. Reverend Johnny Smith, the pastor of Shallow Missionary Baptist Church here in Pine Bluff. He has about 40 men of character working under him to mentor African American youth. And just a few months back, the Reverend Hank Wilkins stated in the paper that he wanted at least 200 men of character to work under him to monitor and mentor young males in the Pine Bluff School District. And Reverend Jesse Turner is doing mentoring, and Reverend O'Neill. So if there are other ministers here in the community that are doing mentoring, I wish you would drop me a line at HOBBS, that's my last name, then LETHE, Letha, at yahoo.com. I would like to mention your names. Keep in mind, we're making history. These programs are recorded. They are filed here in the archives of the school, so they'll be here forever. And it's important for us to understand the importance of knowing our history. Now, I would like sometime in the very near future for some pastor who has the proper influence to call the mentors together, the pastors who are mentoring together, and we might establish a unified curriculum. These are some things that I would like to share with you in preparing our boys for manhood. This is a partial curriculum format. They need an understanding of Black experience and culture in America and Africa. Manage the family budget. Too many of us do not understand how to handle money. We waste money. We get a very good job, and after a month or two, we are buying Cadillacs and Corvettes. That doesn't make a lot of sense. No. You need to first save you some money, young men, especially if you're unmarried. You save you some money, get your self-transportation, and think in terms of finding a nice wife and having sufficient funds to care for her and her children, should you have children. Women work if they need to work. Men have to work because it's part of the culture. Men are supposed to protect and take care of their wife and children. Number 3, volunteering within a community organization. Do something, not expecting money in return. You will really be blessed if you would understand that. Number 4, exploration of career and educational opportunities. We're living in a time now where we don't need any more cotton pickers, cotton choppers, plowboys. Now we can run a 1,000-acre farm with 2 people. You need to go into what we call here in the college and the university STEM, math, science, and in those areas. Technology. Number 5, understanding the full responsibility of citizenship. Vote. If you do not vote, you're not a citizen of the country. Register and go out and vote. Number 6, the study and application of biblical principles. And you can't do that if you don't know them, if you don't go to church. So I'd encourage you to go to some religious institution. Now I'm going into a few pieces of Bible trivia that was done by my pastor, Reverend Alvin Smith, who's a dynamic leader here in the university, in this community. I mean, not at the university, but in the Pine Bluff. Reverend Alvin Smith, the pastor of St. John African Methodist Episcopal Church. Get your pen and make a note of these things, and give you a little time. I'd like you to write this down. Here's the question 1. What was the stark difference between the prayers of the Pharisees in the Bible and the publicans? Okay. The answer: the Pharisees' prayer was full of self-righteousness and arrogance, while the publicans was humble. Question 2. Who has committed enough sin to bar them from entering heaven? Who has committed enough sin to bar them from entering heaven? The answer is everyone who has ever lived, except for the sinless Jesus Christ. Number 3. When Jacob of the Bible finally met Pharaoh face to face, what did he do? He blessed him. 4th and final one. How did God first speak to young Samuel? It was ultimately calling his name during the night. I hope this will help you and encourage you to read your Bible, go to church, and learn that the 6th statement in this curriculum, the study and application of biblical principles, predicated on, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. We will be back in just a minute.
Hi, my name is Danny Andre Burrell II, a senior here majoring in industrial technology, management, and applied engineering. I thought that I would be looking for a job at this point, but thanks to my mentor, Dr. Charles Colin at Career Services, I was able to obtain a position as an industrial engineer upon graduation.
Danny worked hard in class from the beginning, obtaining 3 internships while on campus. UAPB can help prepare students like Danny for those same opportunities.
UAPB prepared me.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Those of you who have just joined us, I'm Antonio Hobbs, host and founder of this educational program called The School Without Walls. My guest today is Camielle.
Camielle Adams, yeah.
That's it, right?
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Camielle Adams. How are you feeling today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine. Glad to have you with us today.
Yes, sir.
I understand you were born here in Pine Bluff.
Yes,
is that right?
I was.
Okay, born here in Pine Bluff, educated here in Pine Bluff.
Yes.
Right. Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
How many husbands do you have?
I just have one husband.
Just one husband?
Just one husband.
Okay, how many children?
We have 4.
4 children. You want to give us your husband's name and his occupation, and then your children's name and age, if you will. Okay.
Well, my husband, he's Cedric Adams. He works for the Pine Bluff Fire Department, and we have 4 children. Cedric Jr., he's 9. Makai Adams, he is 5. Kiara Barkins, she is 14. And Quentin Adams, he is 4.
I see. Are your parents still living?
Yes.
You like to name them?
Yeah. Carolyn Turner and Melvin Turner.
Okay, are they related to Reverend Jesse Turner?
No, not that I know of.
Not that you know. I see. Did your husband ever attend UAPB?
No, he didn't.
He never did.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. Now, what do you do? Do you work?
Yes, I do a lot of volunteer work at the health food store on Olive Street. So I'm in the midst of studying herbs and different holistic alternatives.
I see. Yeah. That's what they call that type of medicine. There's a term for the medicine that's non-traditional.
Well, it's, that's the simplest term is holistic.
Yeah, homeopathic.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Homeopathic.
Yeah.
You know that. I don't know whether we should call it medicine or not, but that herb that you gave me that I purchased for my back really did work.
Arnica.
Arnica.
Yeah.
Spell it.
ARNICA.
It really worked. My God. After about 20 minutes, the pain in my back had subsided.
Yes, and that's one of the top sellers for inflammation.
Yeah, I'm going to. I hope you have some more in stock.
Yeah, we do. We just got a shipment today.
I think I'll come by and get me several boxes.
Okay.
Because I'd say it's really. Where is that place located?
It's 2508 Olive, South Olive Street.
2508 Olive.
Next to Charos.
Next to Charos. If you want to get pain relief, I would certainly recommend that because it helps me. Now, I'm going to tell the public why I invited Camielle here is because I noticed this beautiful afro that she was wearing, and I have been concerned about so many African American women wearing other women's hair, and some are working second jobs in order to buy somebody else's hair. It says to me that they feel that they are ugly, and that is not good, is it?
No,
if that is the case. You're ugly, so in order to be beautiful and attractive, I'm going to be like somebody else. So I've talked with you prior to this about this. You said you once wore your hair at least with the chemical in it.
Yes.
Did you ever buy somebody else's wigs?
I had wigs. I had
ball of wax. Huh?
Yes, I had a lot of different things. Yeah.
What in the world happened to you that you left somebody else's hair and started to showcasing your own hair?
Well, I mean, it happened like a little over five and a half years ago. I never had a problem with keeping my hair done, you know, beauty shop, and I wore my hair in a tapered short style. So one day I went home, and I don't know, it must have been the Spirit of God that was in me. I got a pair of scissors and I cut all my perm off in the mirror.
Right.
I had a patch going right here, a patch going right there, and it was just, I just did it. It just came off. But the moment I looked in the mirror after I did that, a total sense of beauty and calmness and a higher worth of self-esteem came for me when I did it.
That is amazing. And I really can sense that because I do not believe many of the women are conscious of what they're doing. Some are doing it because others are doing it. They're doing it because they think it makes them popular. But I feel that they're doing it because they think they're looking better. And if they're doing that for that reason, that indicates to me that they have so low self-esteem. And I want them to know that what they're doing is imitating somebody else, and you can never arrive to the state of that which you imitate. See, so I want them to be sure to understand that. We're nearing our break. What else can you say to the African American women who are buying all this long hair that's long as a horse's tail hanging way down? Well,
coming from a woman's standpoint, I believe it's more than just what we're buying. You know, we're taught as a young girl to perm our hair, and it's not beautiful, you know, from my grandmothers and our mother. But a lot of women nowadays are becoming more conscious. And I think the hardest thing about it for most women is the acceptance of others. You know, we fix ourselves up not just for ourselves, but for the community to see us. So I went through the stage of when I went natural, I wanted everybody to feel what I felt. You know,
accepted right away.
Yeah, but I did a lot of condemning. I did a lot of pointing the finger at women because they wasn't doing, you know, they wasn't natural. But I have to realize that every woman is entitled to their own choice, and all we can do for women, especially our black women, is let our light shine for them. And when they come and talk to us, especially the natural community, have an open and compassionate heart to guide them slowly into this stage, because it's a roadblock and it's a hindrance. It's worse than crack. You know, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, when it comes to our hair. You know.
Let's stop on that note. We'll be back after break.
At the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff,
I'm part of a place where I'm always challenged to do more.
I am a part of a place where I can be involved.
I'm a part of a place where everything is possible.
I'm part of a place where champions are made.
At the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, you can get an affordable education with competitive degree offerings, diverse student population, and stellar faculty. Become part of a place where you can get everything you need to succeed. Become a part of the pride at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff.
I'm home, and I love it. I'm home where I belong. I'm home, and I love it. I'm home where I belong.
It's always nice to come home, but these days, many Americans are at risk of foreclosure and losing their homes. Making Home Affordable is a free program from the U.S. government that has already helped over 1 million struggling homeowners like these. And we want to help you.
I'm home, and I love it. I'm home.
Find out now what your options are. Go to makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE. The sooner you act, the better chance we can help you.
I'm home where I belong.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If your home was built before 1978, your kids could be at risk. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, and find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
Those of you who've just joined us, I'm Antonio Hobbs, host and founder of this educational program called The School Without Walls. My guest is Camielle Adams. We are talking about what I consider as a psychological problem that many African Americans have, and I don't think they realize it's psychological. I feel that, and there are many, there are scholars who support me, that this is something that stems from the slave experience of our people in this country, because we were taught early that if you were white, everything was right. I mean, you were beautiful and everything else. And for some reason, Connie, it seemed like the black male did not buy into this like the white, like the female. What do you think? Why do you think that?
I think most of the gentlemen have bought into the concept of, you know, a better, you know, our skin is not good and our hair is not good. So majority of the women that I've talked to that's going natural or considering, you know, they look to their husbands for, you know, for validation and support. And most of the guys don't want to, you know, don't want their women to do it because they're also set in a certain mind frame of how the beauty's supposed to look. So I think when it comes to that, I mean, we're our own woman. It's not to go against our husbands or our boyfriends. It's to the point that we have to walk around with this body.
You have to show leadership there, I would think. Show leadership because evidently you are more enlightened at that point in time than he is. Not meaning to disrespect, right? But just showing consciousness. But what I had reference to, most black men do not process their hair and never have. That's why I said, why is it that the black man, as a whole, we know there was an era. I've gone through that era when quite a few processed their hair, but overall, most black males just cut their hair and wore the natural. Whereas as long as I can remember, most black women that didn't have the hair that didn't have the mixture that caused the hair to be long and curly or wavy, they would try to fix it earlier with hot combs. That was a question. What is it about the male that you think caused him to see beauty through the lens of perhaps a person who's not African American, but not to wear his hair that way? What do you think?
And I mean,
there is.
It falls back into the media and what they allow to see as beauty. I mean, many black men in Pine Bluff alone, you know, they're very accepting, you know, of black women here. Not all men are just, you know, condemning a black woman, but it always goes back to the perception of what beauty is, you know.
And mainly through the media.
Yeah, through the media, you know, or clicks, or you know, everything stems from a young age. What's been engraved in our heads.
That goes back to being systemic. The system. For example, seldom do you see a black lady who's in a commercial or in a movie who is dark and has natural hair. They're generally the lighter hue. Have you noticed that?
Yes, sir. I
that's not
that.
by accident.
Yeah.
That's sending a message. What they call it subliminal message. All right. Now, what can we do to change that? I'm for change.
I believe from my journey to where I'm at right now, and what I see, what I've seen, I think more women are taking their power back when it comes to their self-esteem. It also, I mean, for me, it's,
I like that word, power back.
Yeah.
Taking your power
Because that's
back.
what happened to me, you know, because before that my self-esteem was lower, and I thought if I fix this and fix that, you know, I'm going to be more attractive to a man or whatever. But once I cut my hair off, I mean, this was my personal journey, you know, my sense of strength and to the point where if I can look beautiful in the raw, you know, everything else doesn't matter. But one thing I do want to say, I know it's a big issue for people when it comes to the natural hair, because I went through that stage and I condoned and I pointed my finger. But I do know that women, we are some very mystical and very creative women. So some women who, not all women who does the wigs and stuff, are just selling for that, you know. Most women are doing that, you know, as a costume, you know, and they need that to survive. But I've been blessed to be around women who can switch and change and do as they choose and still feel confident. So it all falls back to the individual. And as a black community, since we stay in a black community, because I deal with all kind of races, I realized that we need more love and compassion for our men and our women, and it goes far deeper than just our hair. You know, this is just the surface. So much of our crown and glory, but it goes far deeper than that. And once we realize and talk to someone about that, like if a woman come talk to you, majority of women don't want to hear condemnation. You know, they don't want to hear that you're wrong for this and wrong for that. They need support, they need compassion, you know, and they need somebody to talk to them, see why they steady permanent hair, see why they're steady doing that. So it's more than just a surface issue, it's deep.
And it saves you a lot of money too, doesn't it? I'm told that some of these wigs, folk who are really making big money, $3,000, something like that, like the Oprah Winfrey's of the world.
Yeah.
And they are making somebody else rich, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You saw that movie where Chris Rock was showing that
good hair.
Yeah, the good hair syndrome. And we're about to conclude this program for this time. But the lesson here is to as an old African proverb that tells us to be true to yourself. Yeah. And Shakespeare took it to another level. He said, to thine own self be true, and that should follow as the night follow the day, therefore you find yourself false to no man. So the idea, ladies, is to think on what we're saying. I've never seen a woman that put on a wig that looked more beautiful than she did in a natural state. And I can say this with experience during the civil rights struggle. Most black women went natural. I saw that. And I saw them when they had the hair process, and I didn't see any change in beauty. If I saw any change in beauty, it was the natural. There's something about the natural that complements the rest of the face. Glad to have you at this time. It's time to end.
Thank you.
All right.